I'm not gonna lie, I think OBS and my Streamlabs are kind of like fucking mixing together. But what's going on, everybody? We got our microphone working. Let's go. Camera's working. It took me a while. I know it looks kind of foggy and shit, but you're gonna have to work with me here. That's the sacrifice of me being on Twitch and using my face cam and my Elgato and stuff. But we're just gonna talk about the play, the big moment of this episode, the play that Lexi made. Such a full circle moment, such a crazy episode. We got 2 reviews. We have the Quarry gameplay, and then I'm probably going to watch another episode of Euphoria. And on Twitch today, I'm probably going to be streaming. Rainbow Six Siege. I'm gonna hop on with some of my cousin and his friends. But yeah, this episode is a recapper's hell, but a viewer's delight. Yeah. Let's explain. The episode's main story concerns the staging of Lexi's play, which was very well executed, the thinly veiled version of her and her friend's high school experience that she's been talking about for weeks. So she wanted to make this play. She kind of wanted to play off on the high school experience, kind of give some social commentary about what's going on in their lives, that type of thing. That veil is so thin, in fact, that the episode often blends real-life events into Lexi's version of them. At times, it's tough to tell what's actually happening in the lives of Ruin Company and what's unfolding on the auditorium stage. So they kind of mix it together. They do really well at merging it. It's kind of confusing, but I think it's a really cool concept for the episode. Does it really matter? After all, everything that happens on the show is heightened in one way or another, whether it's via hazy memory or illicit substances or super cool yet disconnected visuals. Everything is very like glorified, everything's very like exaggerated in the show, and that's something I've grown to really like. A lot of things are used for shock value, it pulls the viewers in, and yeah, I'm going to be watching the season 2 finale. It's not the series finale because we're getting a season 3, but yeah, you get me. Sit back like everyone in Lexi's audience, well, except for Nate, and enjoy the insanity that is this episode. I mean, this episode was very enjoyable. I mean, there's a lot of vengeance, a lot of revenge going on, a lot of exposure. We go back to the day of Rue's father's memorial service at her house. That's kind of where we start the whole thing, where Lexi finds the grieving teen snorting crushed pills in her bedroom, of course. That's how Rue dealt with the death of her father. That doesn't surprise me at all. Why does it look so hazy? Does that look better? I mean, it looks really cloudy. Hopefully it doesn't look that bad for you guys. There are a lot of lights in my room, to be fair. But, Let This Darkness Be a Bell Tower by Rainy Maria Reich Lexi reads that poem, and it seems very relatable to her actual story. As the drugs kick in, the camera pulls back, and we realize that we're now watching the dramatization of this scene and Lexi's play. So pretty much she's making everything seem dramatic in this play. The play is called Our Life, in which Rue is a character named Jade, so pretty much every single person that's associated with Lexi and her life she's connected to all have different characters in the show that relate to them. The real Rue, as well as the rest of their social circle, watches from the audience and slowly has the same realization that Maddie comes to as she whispered, "Wait, is this fucking play about us?" Yes, it is. You guys just made that observation. I'm pretty sure she told a bunch of you guys before the play. Throughout the episode, we see Lexi checking the crowd for Fez's face. She'd saved a seat for him, and he'd said he'd be there. I don't think he ever showed up to the play, but the show rolls on, and no Fesco. What gives? We'll get to that in a few. We'll realize why Fesco doesn't show up in time pretty soon, because the show must go on and on and on. You know, Lexi's not going to stop her show because Fesco didn't show up. You know, this is a play. She needs to show this to people. It's very important. It's got a message. There are so many scenes and so many elaborate sets on Lexi's staged Roman Aklef. I kept thinking that the thing must be a 5-hour production. She must have took forever to make this play. It was very well made, it seemed. Also, what was the scenery budget? I've seen Broadway productions that would have killed for that school hallway setup. Yeah, there was some crazy scenery going on as we went on. Anyways, the show continues. We get flashbacks to Lexi and Cassie's childhood that are both happy, the whole family dancing in the living room, and sad. Lexi crying when her father was so messed up that he should not have driven her and Cassie home from getting ice cream, but he did. So she didn't really trust him because they were getting ice cream and he seemed really drunk, off the drugs, whatever, and she didn't want to ride with him. She didn't trust him at first. We see the night that Maddie stayed at the house as her parents were splitting up. When Cassie comforted her friend as she cried. Very personal stuff here, and I don't think most of the audience realizes what this show is based off of, or what this play is based off of. And I don't know why most of the people in the crowd that were relating to the story got some embarrassment, because I don't think a lot of people realized what was actually going on. But I really like that Lexi did this. This was a really big move on her part. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah. And we get a good sense of Ethan's versatility as a performer, as he takes on the role of both Lexi's character's mom, who cackles, tickled in the audience, and the character based on Nate. Their mother, Cassie and Lexi's mother, seemed like the only character that was in the story that seemed enthused and excited. I mean, Rue was pretty excited as well. Actually, I don't think Jules was in this play either. Maybe. About that. The portion of the show that we see in this episode ends with a large-scale, highly choreographed, gold lame wrapped and intentionally homoerotic number in which stage Nate lip-syncs to Bonnie Tyler's Holding Out for a Hero, while gyrating with the rest of the semi-clad members of the dramatized football scene. So pretty much a very gay moment, kind of making fun of Nate, kind of calling him gay, very homophobic. Nate does make a good point later on in the episode about it being homophobic. Yeah, the scene is a huge bit with almost everyone in the audience, though a lot of them are shooting furtive glances at Nate, who is mortified and bolts by the end of the song. A lot of people actually enjoyed that scene. Nobody really likes Nate. This is kind of Lexi's diss towards Nate in a big fucking way, in a big grand way. Everybody watching this guy gets exposed, gets made fun of. A lot of people that went to the high school obviously know that's Nate, because that's what Nate's ego was at the time. Earlier in the episode, we'd seen someone's fantasy, Cassie's, I'm honestly not sure, unfold this. Cassie told Nate she could control what I wear, what I eat, who I talk to. I belong to you and I won't ever complain because I trust you know what's best. I feel like I don't know if that's Nate's fantasy. It's kind of hard to see whose side wanted that to happen. Yeah, I mean, Nate is very possessive, he's very manipulative, so it could have been his, but yeah, and then later Nate had been thinking about Maddie, then Jules, then throwing Cassie down on a bed, ripping her fishnets, and putting his hand on her face the way Cal did to Jules. So he kind of envisioned a Cal-Jules situation, but with him and Cassie. Very messed up, very weird scene. Then, and I believe this lends credence to the theory that was talked about in the last episode, there was a very yucky moment that implied that Cal and Nate were both naked. Only now it's Nate who's been flung down on his stomach on the motel bed. So this might have revealed that Nate and his dad have something going on, something weird going on. As Cal leaned over his son, Nate startled awake, and Cassie reassured him that it was just a nightmare. So maybe he's having flashbacks, maybe he's got PTSD of his father putting his hands on him in very sexual ways. His father is very obsessed with men. He's a very weird guy, very quirky. I don't know what's going on with him. But the feeling between the two of them is decidedly less gentle as he storms out of the auditorium and she follows. So yeah, he's very traumatized. He's very, taken aback. He's very, he's like, I'm so over this, He yells that the scene her sister wrote was homophobic. Yeah, I do agree with him on that, and tells her to pack her bags and leave his house. I'm done, he says coldly, walking away if she watches him go. Good. Maybe he'll get back to Maddie because, yeah, Lexi's kind of indirectly related to Maddie, but Lexi's literally Cassie's sister, so he wants to get away from that family and go to Maddie. That's probably what's going to happen, I'm predicting. Let's go over to Fez's situation. We kind of figure out later in the episode what Fez has been doing, where he's been. Meanwhile, when Lexi's not in character, she's tearing around backstage like a tyrant, and it's highly amusing. But where the heck is Fez? But, I mean, we got to give credit to Lexi. She's very adamant with the production crew and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool. It was really awesome. Lexi pretty much got her own episode. She was center stage. She was the main character for an episode. I loved that. I love that Euphoria did that. Not a lot of shows have the audacity, have the guts, even have the thought of making a secondary character the main character for an episode. It mostly just revolves around the protagonist. But this time, Lexi gets her big moment. And I thought that was really cool. We watch him getting ready, and it's very cute how much effort he's putting into looking good for the event. Fez is showing some affection for once. He seemed like this very tough guy at the beginning of the story, but now it's kind of like, oh, he cares about something a lot. He cares about something and loves it. yeah, my Rainbow Six Siege is ready to play. So probably at around 3, guys. By the way, big announcement. I'm gonna be playing Rainbow Six Siege. If I'm good at it, whatever. If I'm not, fine. I only paid $10 for it. Faye is steaming his shirt and everything is going along well until her boyfriend Custer shows up unannounced. Now, Fez doesn't really want anything to do with this guy because he's kind of been talking to the police and stuff like that, and Faye and him are kind of still mates, so like if the police catch him over here, then Faye's gonna get trouble. Everyone's gonna get in trouble for holding a suspect in hospitality. Yeah, Faye was helping him out. I thought that was a cool gesture by her. Ashtray sees Custer whispering to Faye, realizes something hinky is going on, and slips a knife into his sleeve. Ashtray's like, yeah. Ashtray is going, like, he's such a badass character. Ashtray is gonna be the first guy to see what's going on and be like, alright, I need to fucking stop this. I mean, my god, what is going on? But Fez is unaware, so he slips on the steam shirt and this sport coat. Man, this is a very heartfelt moment. I was like, wow, Fez really cares about this girl. Grabs a bouquet of flowers, oh my goodness, and gets ready to go to the show. Such a romantic guy. Who would have known? He shows this romantic side of him in this episode. So what gives? We don't know. As the title card informs us at the end of the hour, the episode is to be continued. So they kind of set this up. They kind of stylized it like it was some sort of big play, and that there's different... I don't know. It's very confusing. I've never seen a TV episode like it. Euphoria continues to break boundaries, continues to do big things. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed this episode. A very engrossing episode, chaotic episode, but very good. It didn't move the story forward. It was kind of just like a whole big flashback and added so much backstory. Start to finish, it was a great episode. Susie's actually becoming a better character. The reaction of all the characters in the audience were great, but like, who knows what's going to go on with Fez? I'm very fascinated with the play, but at the same time, I'm kind of looking at this like, what's going to go on? Very entertaining. The play kind of defied plausibility in the episode, but at the same time, there's no way a group of high schoolers could put on that caliber of a show, and even if they somehow did, they would never get it past teachers and supervisors. It seemed kind of fictional. It seemed kind of like a dream, kind of. The seats, the lighting, the subject matter. I wish the show had made an effort to make the play feel like high schoolers made it, instead of it feeling like a legit Broadway play. I mean, wow. I'm just reading comments, by the way. You don't think Lexi's capable of making a play like this? Come on, dude. She's a mastermind. She's a very smart girl. It made Lexi's complaints nonsensical. A great idea for the episode, just wish it was more grounded. It's magical realism, blending the cast between the real cast and the actors playing them. It's not really a good storytelling device. It's kind of exaggerating the whole thing. Oh, yeah, that is true. That's a really good theory. People are saying it's not actually the play she's putting on, it's her imagination. Yeah. Very Broadway-like, very fucking professional for a high school play. I don't care what kind of high schooler you are, you're not putting a play like that. Let's be honest here. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. I got to talk about Breaking Bad, then I'm going to hop on the Quarry, then I'm going to watch some Euphoria. I'm probably going to get back on the Boys grind, watching that show. I'm not really as enthused with that show as I am the other stuff, but Breaking Bad and Euphoria are definitely my big favorites. We'll have to see. We'll have to find some more series to watch. I might take a break from starting new series because, let's see here. This Friday is Stranger Things, and me and my cousin Logan might watch an